Hey, what's up, everybody? It's 7TCG, and I'm gonna actually live adjust this camera a bit. That's fucking weird. But it's another episode of Trading Card Gambit. And what prompted this one, this is called How We Forget, is I had a discussion in the Card Guys Discord about the current pile over of Zen. Now, obviously, I came up with this topic before the bans, and then the bans happened, but I'm just not getting to the video. But I'll kind of like tell you what my thoughts were before, then I can kind of uniquely mix them to what they are now. So we were talking about Zen and how his power level translates to the history of Flesh and Blood. Like, has there been a deck like Zen? Like, what Zen can do? Like, not even like peak. I'm talking like even the floor. Like, where does Zen like stand? And I remember when Starvo got brought up, and I asked the question. I said, "Hey, everyone in chat, quick question: If you put Zen in Pro Tour 1 meta, actually, and then I was like, actually, right before Pro Tour 1 meta, when he still had like Awakening, there was Skelevis, and all that stuff, would Zen be the best deck? Everyone said yes. And I was like, okay, I can buy that. What if you pull full power Starvo, like I'm talking about full power Starvo, into the current CC metagame? Would he be the best deck? And then they all quickly said no, and I was like, whoa, hold on a second, that's interesting. And then there was a multiple like things that got said, like, oh, we were not as good back then, which sure I agree with. The game has changed, I agree with. Like one of the big things is like his new matchup can't be that good. I haven't played LL Star versus new. I feel I want to say it's because it's new versus a Guardian. New should win, but I think thematically, like how new tries to play the game. If we had full power Starvo, like he had all of his attacks, and then actually, even if you want to give him Starstruck now, I don't know, man. Like I don't think it's like that quick to just say, oh yeah, easily new just wins that. And then people started saying, I'm gonna adjust a little bit again. It's just like, oh, dude, Starvo wouldn't even be like a top 3 deck right now, and I was like, okay, these things like some really weird comments. And then it was like, oh, you could play anything back in the day. It was just those 3 were the best decks. And it's like I kept hearing comment after comment after comment. And I'm just sitting there just like head in my hands going like, wait, what am I hearing right now? And I just feel like everyone forgot how we felt at that time, and we can all say, well, yeah, it was comparative to the time. Sure, I don't really dispute that. But just to say like Starvo would just get gapped right now by like multiple decks, like, you know what? I can give you the new deck. And obviously, again, if I'm putting Starvo, I'm taking away Zen. I can give you new. Maybe new Prism could get him there. Kano could always get that, sure. But we're talking about those heroes spiking the Starvo. And again, full power. That's why I need people to understand. Full power. No bans, no nothing. Now, you have to say, hey, if it's no ban list, what does that do for other decks? Like, you can't just say Starvo gets everything and no other decks get nothing. And yes, I absolutely agree, because like there's going to decks that get Plunder Run. Ball Lightning is really fucking good, right? Like, yes, there are going to be a lot of changes if it was just true no ban list. It was like how LO was kind of meant to be. I just have a hard time believing that because the game was so new and we were all bad at the game, that Starvo wasn't actually that good. There's just no shot that's true. And where this loops in is everyone was like, well, think about the heavy hitters meta. I forget who said it. They were like, think about the heavy hitters meta. You could just bring anything to a tournament and do well. Could you? Oh, Lexi meta wasn't even that bad because I forget what it even says. Like, you could like counter the Lexi by doing this. It's like, sure. And they just kept going, meta's back, meta's back, meta's back. And I'm dumbfounded. I'm literally dumbfounded. It's like, do I not remember? Am I the only one that remembers how life was at that point? Dude, the amount of tweets I've made making fun of people crying about the game. Because, like, first, it was Starvo. We can't get past Starvo. Okay, cool. Oh, this chain deck. All he does is have a 17 Soul Shackles and has a 23 card hand. Art of War's broken. I hate this deck. Okay. Prism. Don't get me started on Prism. The amount of, like, literal emotional trauma that Prism gave to people is insane. And then you just keep going through deck. I mean, heck, have you seen people talk about Rosethorn? Have you seen people talk about Rosethorn? Icelander, no one could ever play a card. Odom, all he did was block 73 with 73 cards a turn, and then just swung Winter's Woe, and that was the game. Dromai, Illusionist, emotional damage. We went over this. Lexi, 3 of a kind Rain Raiders. People literally didn't want to attend PQs because of it. I just don't get how, because we have this problem, here is our problem that we have, right? This is our problem. Because this is our current problem, nothing that came before it was ever a problem. It's just it hasn't even been like 6 months. People are wanting to quit the game because of Dromai. People were wanting to not play because it's just Excel spreadsheet. This meta's boring. Now again, am I saying every single person that ever played Flesh and Blood said that? No. Let's not go too far to the left here with what I'm saying. But these were common sentiments I've seen a lot. Was people not wanting to go to events because X deck was the best deck. Oh, Lexi. Lexi can play Ice, Lightning, all these broken arrows. I get a free Frostbite. She gets all this go again. 3 Con Raven Raiders is broken. And like I said, Icelander, I was so confused about how people were complaining about Icelander, because that deck actually took a lot to pilot. It wasn't like you could just pick up the deck and you had to do so many decision makings. Every time your opponent did a game action, now on average you wouldn't do anything. You kind of knew based on what deck you're playing when your interaction points was. But if you want to be literal, every time your opponent does a game action, there's a chance for you to do something. And there's also a chance to bluff, because the knowledge that something Icelander could do something created this big mini game within the game where you know that I could respond to what you do. I know that I have the ability to. Now let's do that leveling process of how I'm going to play out my turn. What if I don't even have an ice card? And every time you do an attack, I go, hold on, let me look. That created a lot of interesting gameplay. At least in my opinion. Obviously, I'm a Wizard Glacial enthusiast. If you know, you know. So maybe I'm biased. Let me fix this camera again. Jesus Christ. But I just don't get how we just forgot how we felt literally months ago. Bro, and dude, I'm so excited for the new set. Here's the reason why. Everyone, remember the hype around Part that Misfell? You guys remember? It was going to be the thing that saved the game. Now it made people quit the game. Are we just going to do the same thing in Rosetta? Is Florian OTK going to be the next deck that just makes people quit the game? Does a Sealer just have some of the most broken turn cycles that you just shrug your shoulders you couldn't do anything? You didn't have a correct option. What's it going to be next? Because I guarantee you, there's going to be a problem deck next format. It's likely to be Enigma, and I'll get into that in a second. But let's just say it's Enigma. All these decks are going to be gate kept because they cannot be an Enigma. There's a few ways you can beat Enigma, right? You can damage deck to get past Ward, or you can consistently put so much pressure on her, she doesn't have room to do anything. Every deck can't do one of those things. Some decks can do both, but some decks can do neither, right? What happens when Arachne is still unplayable? What happens when Teklavason's unplayable? What happens when da-da-da-da-da is unplayable? The meta's probably going to be shit in people's eyes. It's just going to be 1 hour plus Enigma mirrors. Do people want that? They didn't want Zen. Zen was ruining the game. And dude, I'm not even like being delusional. Zen just LO'd him Blitz in 2 fucking weeks. Zen is like a 10th or 11th in like in LO points in CC already. He was doing his best KO impression. Who was doing his best Starvo impression? The CC metagame actually hasn't been that good in a long time, and I'm here to like admit that. Obviously, I'm not stupid. But every single time a new deck rises up, it's the worst format ever. No one likes it. The previous format was better. So by this logic, the best format was WTR, and it consistently went down. I'm just using everyone's logic. Now, yes, can metas objectively be better? Like, can 2 bad metas, can one still be better, right? Like, for example, is a meta that's ruled by Illusionist, is it better or worse than a meta ruled by Brute? Like, both metas aren't great, but, like, both metas are not equal. Like, Illusionist literally gatekeeps, like, half of the format. And then, like, Brute just says, hey, like, your deck probably sucks compared to mine. You can try to kill me, but yeah, like, obviously, I'm not being dumb. But people just, like, it feels like a new format goes and people go, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I can see clearly now. That meta is fantastic. I loved it when Dromai literally made like 10 plus decks unplayable. I loved hour plus long Guardian versus Illusionist Mirrors at Pro Tour 3. That was so wonderful. Really, guys? I guarantee you, and I just want everyone, even if you think I'm just bullshitting you right now, just wait. Give it like 3 months. Just check social media. See what people are complaining about. See if people say the old Zen wasn't this bad. See if people say this is the worst format ever. People are going to say they have no desire to play. And people people have 100% right to feel that way. All I'm going to ask is, what do you want? What do you want out of Flesh and Blood? What do you want out of TCGs? Because what I'm going to tell you that you probably want, it's probably not possible. I think the average person would say, I would like to be able to bring any deck to a tournament and do well. Yes, I'm on your team. I would love for you to fucking dust off your Betsy deck and be able to top 8 a tournament. You're not naive, unfortunately. But let's talk about what happens with every deck being viable. The way every deck's viable is if every deck sucks. And no one is really doing anything unique or powerful. That's just how it is. Because, and someone's probably going to make a comment like, well, hold on. It's not even that complicated. If it's just... No. Let's say every deck is equal. Let's just say all of these decks right here. Let's just say all these are decks. Right? All these are different decks that you could play at a tournament. If all of them are the exact same power level, what's the reason you play them? Because they do something unique. Let's say this deck does a bunch of disruption. This deck can have a combo. This deck, I don't fucking know, tickles your taint while you play. But all of them are kind of mid. What's still going to naturally happen, and what people don't understand, natural is, if you have a deck, 2 of these decks, this is all about disruption. This one's all about combo, but it's kind of fragile, kind of, right? Well, the disruptiveness is still going to counter this. As long as things are thematic, there are going to be counters. Like, I don't get what people understand. I seen this in League of Legends recently. People like, why can't they bring back this? Why can't every champion be viable? Okay, there's 160 plus champions on that roster. And let's say all of them had the best stats they possibly could, and they push them to the limit. You still wouldn't be able to play assassins into tanks. Because thematically, how they play the game counters you if you're an assassin. Control mages still will lose to artillery mages. It is how it works thematically. It doesn't matter if Dromai sucks. If your deck still only has one action point, what are your chances of beating it? Like what are we saying? Are you really going to tell me your deck that has almost no go again and can kill one dragon a turn, your deck could be better than the Dromais if that's all your deck can do, and you can't race the Dromai by hitting them because they can just block? You're in the same spot. That's what people don't understand. And dude, please, I want someone to be the person that comes like, what you don't understand is we're just saying the top decks need to be tuned down. Yes, okay, yes. The top decks need to be tuned down. Yes. And then what? And then what? Okay, whatever your favorite best deck is tuned down. You know what's going to happen? Another deck's going to rise up. And it happens every fucking time. Now let's get into some of the ban discussions. A popular thing I've seen go around is Art of War needs banned. And Art of War actually ended up getting banned. But another ban that people talked about was Traverse. And I think this was a smart thing that people said. If you ban Traverse from Zen, like let's say you got Zen, Enigma still has Traverse and can go protect the President Miragi, and it's just the most disgusting thing ever. Because Zen is one of the decks keeping Enigma from being like broken. Like I'm not saying like Zen, like Enigma can't beat Zen. I'm just saying like on average, you would probably rather be on the Zen side than the Enigma side if we're just being honest, right? Even if your Enigma deck is teched. Okay, now Zen's gone. Now you have this deck that thematically counters a lot of decks that didn't get hit. I mean, Orion got hit. Cool, I guess. Awesome. Now Illusionist is probably the best thing you can be doing. Now, obviously, that's just day one, and, you know, there's a new set coming. Things could obviously change. But why the Traverse ban would be smart is you cut the top off of Zen without killing it. You cut the top off of Enigma without killing it. Because now Enigma can't go block with Traverse, get a chi, play Miragi, protect the Miragi for the rest of the game. Now, you have to get past my Miragi, why I block with 3 cards, sometimes 4 cards a turn. Is that fun? Is that fun gameplay? Think about how many decks cannot beat that. That's what kind of things happen when you just blindly say, I want bans. The Traverse fan, I think, was very smart. Now, the actual bans they end up doing, I stand by it. Yeah, as a Kano player and even as a Prism player, I love these bans. Yeah, does it suck as a Kano player to lose 6 tomes? Fucking yes. What? Like what? What Kano player is going like, oh, thank God they got rid of my tomes. Yeah, I fucking hated playing those. No one said that. What Prism player is like, I have a tome of Divinity? Ah, I guess I just draw 3 cards. Unlucky. No. Like, these bans are about long-term health of the game. And dude, I'm supporting. I support that. Now, what comes of these bans? Like, obviously, again, like, shock day one opinions is Enigma's really fucking good. I thought Enigma was going to be, like, fine anyway. And now she has to not deal with Zen as much. Can you still build a Zen deck to be Enigma? Yes. But, like, as Enigma has a lot more room now. Can you beat Enigma as Kano? Yes, but it's gonna be harder. Who really knows what's gonna come of this? But all I'm gonna say is my prediction is right and Enigma becomes the best deck and it's just objectively the best thing you can do without question. Watch people want to quit the game. Watch the crowd on Twitter, Facebook, and whatever. Watch what they just say about this meta and then the previous meta being the Zen meta. The emotional damage that Kano did to people, right? What if like one of these new wizards, especially with the ban now, is like better than Kano possibly? Or what if Kano finally allows? There's gonna be people going like, "Well, Kano wasn't that bad. I mean, he had to like work for it a little bit. I mean, he had to draw these specific cards." Blah blah blah. It's like every time there's something new to complain about, everything else was like not that bad. And it's like I, I'm all for like analyzing past formats, but every format like there's no possible way anyone can tell me with like a straight face they believe every format is worse than the last one. Because by that logic, what faith would you have in LSS and why would you play this game? Because what's going to now happen if we're living in this fantasy world? A Rosetta format is going to be worse than the MST format. It's going to be way more toxic. And then the format that's after Rosetta is going to be worse. But you know what? Zen wasn't that bad. Like, was Zen really gatekeeping that many decks? Like, you could kind of just bring anything. It's ridiculous, man. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm allowed to be wrong here. And hopefully I'm wrong. I honestly hope Rosetta does a lot of healing, and I really hope that we do good. But the last thing I want to show you guys before we click off is I'm going to show you guys a video that I made a couple months ago. Hold on. I meant to already have it up, but I accidentally clicked off. Apologies. Where is it at? Oh, here it is. Alright, let's bring this up. I'm pretty sure this should still be recording afterward. I don't frequently switch between scenes while recording. All I want to say is, I wonder who predicted all this. And what date was this? This should tell me what date it is, right? May 25th. May 25th. I literally told everyone why everyone was saying, "Oh, this is the best set ever." I literally told people, I was like, "You gotta understand what's going on around you. Like, this is probably gonna suck." Bro, look out, bro. Look at this, bro. And it's like, and let's just read some of the comments. This looks cool as a dumb reason, but a valid one. Aesthetically pleasing visuals is a factor of choosing a play. Wait, what? The fuck does this mean? Oh, dude, look at this banger comment, by the way. Hey, man, I appreciate the commentary and hear your thoughts on the game. I'm pretty new to it, but you're right about interactivity. I don't know, man. I don't know. Great video, man. I was preaching the same sentiment to my group yesterday. Lack of interaction with these heroes reminds me so much of Yu-Gi-Oh. Oh, we got a wild Pheno here. Let's see. One point to people praising the set in the short term is it feels like the set is very refreshing compared to the old ones. True. It's exciting, flashy, and playing the heroes makes happy brain chemicals because you're doing cool things. I do think it's important that every set has this feeling, and previous ones haven't captured that. I mean, true. Honestly. The lack of agency you have playing into these heroes is a separate issue. I think this is really fun and cool, but raises design issues. See, this is what like what Pheno says. I 100% fuck with. By the way, I 100% fuck with this. Like, hey, it is fun playing these fucking heroes, and that's what I say. I was like, these heroes are fun, but they are going to do very dangerous things to this game. And just look what happened. Very dangerous things happened to this game. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here to doom and gloom flesh and blood. I just want people to realize that I clicked the wrong thing. I want people to realize like what's going on in front of them. We can't just pretend the past wasn't a big deal. The past is there for us to learn. Now, you can take that as a double and say, well, because I learned from the past, it actually wasn't that bad in hindsight. And hey, sometimes you're going to be right. But just because you have a current issue doesn't mean you just throw the other issues away and say they never mattered. Because they did matter, especially at that time, they definitely mattered. But we need to take what happened in the past and try not to repeat it. Not just brush under the rug like it was nothing. Because we're just going to keep falling in that cycle. And assuming that this does happen, it's going to take over your brain. Now you're just going to start assuming every new set will fix the game. The old set was fine, and then you're just going to keep getting in this cycle. And then when does this game just become a toxic relationship for you at that point? If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below what you guys want to see next. It's been your boy Cypher from Cypher TCG. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.